I'm coming for you. That's how weird it is when there's no intro. T. Morgan Jr. is here, Quarter Black Garrett, Audio Wade. We have my half-Asian lawyer, the Kraken.
Busy.
Bill Richmond. Busy day for him.
Very busy.
Very busy day. Of course, do tweet this out. Hashtag VoxAdpocalypse. Right now it is trending.
Number 4.
That's incredible.
Geez, that's
Figs. Figs is also trending, which is hilarious.
Is it actually?
The figs. The word figs is trending.
The Keebler elves are going nuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, my legacy. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, Nabisco must be happy as shit,
Loving
Harold.
you.
Yeah. They're loving it.
You'll be getting a phone call.
They're going, why did we remove the fig from the name? Why do we have to branch out to grape filling? They did. They're no longer Fig Newtons. Did you know? They're just Newtons. They're just Newtons.
Oh, that's an opportunity missed.
All right. So we're going to get some exclusive info and actually some live legal updates here because we are waiting on some information from YouTube, but we do have some exclusive info that you won't find anywhere else. So, okay. Everyone, I'm trying to think of where to start here. I know it's like drinking from a fire hose. In case you don't know, I've been making a lot of executive decisions today. Little bit tired, but
just a little.
You know, there was
Give
a New York Times article that went up this morning. Okay, and they were talking about the new YouTube policy, which Carlos Maza has been complaining about. By the way, spoiler alert: not a big win for you, Carlos. He is still furious.
Very angry.
I love it.
And the rumors are true. YouTube did completely didn't just demonetize our videos, booted us from the partner program,
altogether.
Of which I was one of the original members, actually. My brother and I. Yeah, back to 2009. And they didn't really give us reasoning necessarily. But there was this article, New York Times YouTube policy, they were talking about their policy. This is important to note because these stories all mesh together. The story went out at New York Times where it said YouTube has a new policy and they've since reviewed and removed thousands of videos that are white supremacist videos, that are videos of hardline bigotry and harassment. Keep in mind, for context, out of those thousands of videos, at least a few hundred are ours.
Yeah.
They didn't make a delineation between white supremacist and jokes. They didn't make a difference between Nazis and this program. That's important to keep in mind because a lot of people read it and go, well, it's great to purge white supremacist videos. Well, that's why Figs is trending, because this is considered amongst them. Now, what are my greatest sins? I don't know exactly. I would say that, it hasn't quite been like this. I think we have a clip of, it hasn't been as bad as this.
You're the president, but you're turning into a real pricktator. In fact, the only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's holster.
Sometime at night, Karl Malone look up in the sky and say, what the hell going on up there?
The Indian soldiers would run out on the battlefield and they'd be like, time for you to die, or make life difficult, got you.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless cunt.
And let me be clear,
wow.
nothing that severe. But and by the way, I think those should be acceptable. We choose to bleep our own channel. By the way, who do you think does the bleeping?
Us.
We don't have an FCC that forces us to. It's just because we've tried to play by these rules for a very long time. And again, included in these videos, all of the videos demonetized on our channel, all the videos that have been booted, would be things like reading the Green New Deal, I'm pro-life, change my mind, the students debate, which was actually having just students converse with each other. I had almost nothing to do with it. They were talking themselves. These have been demonetized. That's right alongside white supremacist videos. And why do I bring this up? First off, let me tell you this. This really isn't that big of a ding for us. That's why we have Mug Club. By the way, we do have a promo code right now. Everyone will get the $69 student price for the next 2 days.
Beautiful.
Enter in promo code. It's free speech at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. That's enter in the promo code free speech. We do need it more than ever because we get no revenue from YouTube.
Not at all.
But all that's really changed for us, just so you know, is that most videos were demonetized. We got very little revenue, comparably to before, and now we get no revenue. And here's the thing. Everyone here, this is 15 people who work at Loud with Crowder, somewhere between 12 and 15. I don't know exactly. They are dependent on Mug Club. We would all gladly give up all monetization if it just meant that we got to keep the reach that we've acquired ourselves, meaning you who've subscribed, you who've decided to get notifications. If we get to keep that, we're okay because we'll make it with people joining up at Mug Club, with people buying merch, but particularly Mug Club. We'll take that. And we have sponsors like Walther. We're not really beholden to the YouTube advertiser. And that is why Carlos Maza is so upset. This is what people need to understand, okay? This isn't Carlos Maza. This is absolutely Vox, a billion-dollar company that is going after a voice that is more effective than them at dealing with their misinformation. And now that extends to late-night comedy. That's what it extends to at this point, okay? They aren't happy because they've expressly outlined that they want everyone who disagrees with them to be removed. You would think, hey, Louderworth Crowder, those guys have been demonetized. All I ever wanted was for them to be destitute because they claimed they're the bully, but I want to make sure that no one there, including low-level employees, have no ability to make a living. But you know what? That's not what they want. They want to make sure that no one is allowed to express an opinion at all. And this guy, Carlos Maza, talked about how YouTube was a queer space. Hold on a second. Let's put this in context. Again, louderworthcrowder.com/mugclub. Free speech hashtag is what we need, or the promo code. Queer space. Queer space, again, I use that term, queer space, makes up 2% of population Earth. Okay, ass.
Oh, wow.
Okay, can I say ass? You're an ass. You're an ass because of your behavior, right? You're an ass because you encourage the milkshaking and battery and assault of people who disagree with you. That's why I think you're an ass man. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're an ass man. It has nothing to do with the fact that you are a gentleman and scholar of Latino origin who happens to be attracted to members of the same sex, which, by the way, is both brave and beautiful. Okay?
Yes.
So do we want to make sure we're okay? Are we okay? Is that allowed in comedy now? The reason you're an ass is because you want to remove every single person who disagrees with you. Queer space, that's 2% of population Earth. Contrast that with 50% who are conservative or right-leaning. Right. And by the way, if you're talking about not only conservative and right-leaning, but people who at least don't believe that conservatives or people who lean right should be completely silenced, let's say it's at least 6'5", right? So YouTube is saying, okay, we can either appeal to everybody, right? We can appeal to the vast majority of the American public, the global public who don't want to see corporate censorship, or 2%, because this guy thinks YouTube is a queer space. I thought it was supposed to be a space. You guys didn't have any content. It was Piano Cat and Turtles humping work boots. You courted us
it's
here.
the history of dance, man.
Yeah, history of dance. Come on.
Because they needed conservative. And this is really important for people out there. Listen, this is, if you think it's not going to happen to you, this isn't just for conservatives now. Okay? It's everybody. It's everybody who creates original content, because we have not been attacked for being conservative, mind you. At least that's not what they've said. It's offensive jokes. So if you do jokes that are offensive, they can completely remove your ability to make a living. So to give you a little bit, and I really hope that people understand, this needs to be a focal point here. Because if we move, this is very different from the other adpocalypses where it was offensive opinions on political issues. This is, now we're getting rid of jokes. Now we're getting rid of late night programs. Now we're going after entertainers exclusively because it might offend somebody. Not because of libel, not because of slander, not because of breaking the law, not because of actual targeted harassment. Again, I guess I have to say this, completely against doxing. We've actually found doxers and reported them who didn't even dox us because we're so against it, because it's happened to me. So, right, guys?
Wait, did you make sure you reported Carlos, right, when he doxed all those phone numbers?
Yes, exactly. They're doxing me. Who? The people I doxed. And I'm only doing that voice because that's how you talk. It's not because I hate you. I don't want anyone to hurt anybody, of course, and I've had it happen to me. I know you couldn't withstand the kind of pressure that we have here. You wouldn't make it a day on the ISIS kill list.
No.
Let alone the ultra premium frequent flyer mileage that I've accrued.
The thing that surprised me the most was that his immediate response was, I want everybody to be deplatformed, or I want him to be deplatformed. Right. It wasn't good enough that you were demonetized. He said that does no good whatsoever. According to whose opinion should somebody be deplatformed?
Well, by the way, this is also important to note, other independent journalists and podcasts have already been hit. People who aren't even necessarily conservative. They're already coming for you for jokes or for even covering now controversial opinions.
What kind of humor, seriously, what kind of humor out there will offend 0 people on the planet?
This is one thing, this is such a cop-out too. This is why I just hope people don't go, well, I don't agree with him saying, lispy queer about the man who jokes about his lisp and happens to be a queer producer as he labels himself. I think that was a bridge too far.
He says
really?
That.
How about committing battery? That's why I'm at the point, I'm just gonna light up a big old fuck you cannon and walk away dancing, okay? You wanna do this? Fine. Let's go down this trail. I didn't want it to be this way. louderworthcrowder.com/mugclub. That's why we need you, because we're not beholden to YouTube anymore. By the way, Streisand effect, bitch. Have you seen...
Do you know that?
Have you seen how many more... Here's the thing, people don't agree with this person. Just like we've talked about on campus, most students aren't that far left. It's the professors who capitulate.
And
it's
they
academia who capitulates. There's one person who complains and gets us banned from a campus. One person who complains who wants to get all of you banned from YouTube. And here's the real challenge too, is we don't even know the rules. So to give you, this is some of the exclusive information. Half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond is here. We're waiting on an email from them. Finally, someone called someone on my staff this morning and said, we think it's a real problem with the Socialism is for Figs shirt, which, by the way, I appreciate that even YouTube said it's Socialism is for Figs, because it has fig leaves, and it's always been titled Socialism is for Figs at the louderworthcrowdershop.com. Hilarious. It's available there. And And then this guy Carlos Maza keeps saying that we're using the word. He keeps saying that we say fags.
You're quoting him. You can say
he's
that.
Like he sells the socialism for fag shirt. No, that's not what I sell. By the way, there is an irony here, and I don't want to get into theology and may you never bear fruit again because Jesus got really mad at the fig tree. That's kind of a component to it because socialism doesn't yield great fruit. But there's also a component. Do you know what Che Guevara did to gay people?
Yeah.
He forced them into labor camps. Find any socialist or Marxist regime. Do you know what they did to gay? And I always say, well, that was a different time. Venezuela recently.
Yeah.
At any
Right
point
now.
in time. So you have to decide, and that's one of the ironies of the shirt, sweetheart, is what's more offensive? The ideology that's led to the mass incarceration and forced labor of people who are in minority groups, including gays? Homosexuals, Che Guevara called them, or a joke that's a little bit on the line. Yeah. If you want to call yourself a Marxist, you align with the people who would put you with the firing squads. That's what we fight against. We don't want to see anybody in front of the firing squads. That's why we don't wear Che Guevara shirts. Let's be clear about the truth here. And with Vox, it's 2% of our videos.
Yeah.
And maybe 2% of those videos include making fun of the guy.
Yeah.
The rest of it is actually surrounded by facts, information, statistics, which we've made publicly available to you.
Yeah.
Hey, Vox, where's that?
Yeah, right. They wouldn't know about that.
It's funny that those are missing from every one of his videos.
Everyone, well, Vox's videos too. I want to make sure people understand.
Not just him.
We have been punching up. Anyways, okay, so YouTube said they called, right, this morning, and this is a half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond is here. He's had a full day. They said, we think it's about the social limits for Fig shirt.
Yeah.
And we think everyone at YouTube is going to want you to remove that shirt from the YouTube links, right?
Right. There was some concern about some kind of removal regarding the Fig shirt, and what it ultimately turned into was a couple things. One, complete demonetization from a global standpoint,
right?
Based on videos that are at times multiple years old, and some of which had been manually reviewed and approved.
That's important to note. You went out and met with them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't you actually meet
Twice.
Susan Wojcicki?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, met Susan Wojcicki. So I know you guys didn't set up a private meeting in her, glass office in Silicon Valley, but you did speak with her. And I was there once with you, where there was a summit in New York, and we asked, "Are we within the guidelines?" You're golden. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, and so ultimately that was confirmed that they gave us one or two titles. They said that they would not provide an exhaustive list of the videos that are allegedly violating.
Well, at first they said it was the shirt.
Well, they said it was a shirt.
And then they called back.
Yeah. And then they called
read
back.
a statement. People at YouTube, no names, no information, and they read a statement, and that was the next step, right?
Correct. So wouldn't give full names, wouldn't give emails, wouldn't give phone numbers. They said they felt uncomfortable telling me their information to verify who they were. So, of course, I had to check the number to make sure that this was
cut
real.
an intimidating
Right.
figure.
Exactly.
I mean, look at me.
I don't know whether to
portly.
run or put change in your hands.
Exactly. I mean, put a violin in my hands, man. The sadness for Carlos Maza. But ultimately, the second call led to, okay, fine. If you can't give us the list, email us the list. You want to read it on the phone? It's so great. All right, fine. Give me one example. I just want to know what is the violation.
And they hadn't sent that list, and then they tweeted out. This is very important for
To
you.
the public.
Tweeted out to the public, and specifically to Carlos Maza, as far as I understand
This
it, is saying to be clarified,
is awesome.
in order to reinstate monetization on this channel, he will need to remove a link to his T-shirts. Is that all?
Did
Is
you
that
told
all?
us. We just
By
led
the
with
way,
that.
there's one link to the T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
No,
see
it doesn't
Carlos's
exist
response?
anymore. Remember, it's gone already.
That's right. The link was already gone. What was that?
Did you see Carlos's response?
Oh no, was he fuming?
I could not laugh hard enough.
What? What
it
is
was
he?
not. It was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Pardon my
Yeah.
language. I'm quoting. I
It's quotes,
was
it's okay.
dying. Like I was just absolutely dying. I'm like, there are no emojis for what I'm feeling right now.
Tell me who's more angry. You tell me who's more hateful. Watch this show in its entirety. Or that guy who wants to milkshake everyone he disagrees with. And it's like, no, they have to be removed.
Right.
Well, you know what? We just removed their ability to make a living, although they do have a mug club. But, no, they shouldn't be allowed a place at the table at all.
Yeah.
YouTube is a queer space. Where does it say
Wait,
that?
what?
Win?
Okay, so that's what was tweeted out, and we are waiting on an I think we might have just gotten the email.
We did.
Okay, so this is an email from YouTube now.
Correct.
Breaking news.
It was supposed to be an exhaustive list of all the egregious violations that we've committed.
Correct.
So that we can know if we can
Egregious
fix it.
was their term.
Yes.
Their term, egregious.
Yes.
Right. And it's not. They actually gave me two examples.
Okay.
And they said that that it's not an exhaustive list. but they gave 2 examples of videos.
2 out of how many videos? 1,000
we have
something?
1,000, over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
I mean, they gave me 3 examples on the call. I mean, they didn't even give me the 3rd example that they gave me on the call. And then another one that just says the inclusion of the Figs T-shirt.
At least they labeled it properly.
Again,
Yeah,
thank you.
and that's interesting. There is, like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people who are saying that it's a different word, but even YouTube admits that the shirt actually says socialism is for
Your
figs.
Honor.
Right.
So,
Come on.
Okay, what are the examples that they gave?
well, the first one is episode number 204, Trans Troop Ban. Oh no, February of 2017.
What?
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
That's
wait,
They
the
really
one
dug for that.
Wait, the trans troop band. Blair White was on that show. I was looking through.
That's right,
Blair
she
White
was.
was on that show.
That was
it, was
that-
it was a transphobic show, but that was a completely transcentric show.
Did you watch it?
Did you? So okay,
Come on.
all right.
What the heck?
Yeah.
All right. And what was the other one that they said?
So number 2 was the shirt, the fig shirt.
Right.
Number 3 was titled "Muslim Rape in UK Exposed by Tony Bugle."
Okay, that's not even a joke.
What?
That wasn't even an offensive
Yeah.
joke. Tony Bugle was talking about the Islamic rape gangs in the
Yeah,
UK, and if I'm not mistaken, she was a victim of sexual assault herself. She's written books on it. I remember that interview. It was just an interview, by the
my
way.
Hate
gosh.
speech. That's apparently hate speech.
How in the...
I mean,
What do you do with this?
I
what do
don't
you
know,
do with this? This is the thing. Is it the shirt? Is it not the shirt? No one can understand the rules. And hold on a second. You said it was offensive jokes. You said it was about going after the Vox guy, which we've never done. Again, please, nobody issue any threats or doxing.
Nope.
That's not what we're
No,
about here.
not at all.
I
Not
condemn it
doing us
outright.
favors.
And if I find anyone doxing Carlos Maza, I will personally have them reported and have them banned. I will use our entire team of researchers. That is not what we're about. Let's be as clear as possible. If you're watching, Susan, I hope you heard me. Not a Nazi.
oh my God.
Oh, man.
So can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
2019. That is that Muslim rape video. No, it's not. It's not 2018. It's not 2017. It's not 2016. It's actually from October 2015.
Oh,
is
wow.
how long YouTube has let that video be on its program
Yeah.
and monetized before it decided
Totally
to make
fine.
the change. And again, not making the change by letting us know before.
Right.
Just letting
Yeah.
us know after.
But let's be honest, this is not, they said it's not a violation of their guidelines, right? What they're saying now is this
They
isn't
tweeted that out.
Yes, they're saying this is
Yeah.
a violation
Public.
of their monetization guidelines.
Right.
It's
Okay.
not exactly
Completely different
cockholster.
rules.
It's not exactly feckless cunt. You know, we just had someone who had actually been sexually assaulted talk about sexual assault in the UK.
Yeah. Guess that's off limits.
So again, this is it's very hard to keep track of what this is. It's not the guidelines. So let's
Yeah.
be really clear about that.
Yeah.
This is another way of they will find a way to get you guys gone. And I mean everywhere. People who record video. If you've done anything during, was it live? What do they call it where they live stream video games? They call it live streaming video
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
I thought there was some kind of a term for it.
There's got to be, and we
Come
just
on,
don't
Grandpa.
know.
You know, like
Twitching.
planking. I don't
Come on. Oh my
Twitching?
gosh.
That's the guy
Yeah,
who wears a leather
who
football
knows?
helmet.
Yeah.
The point is, he's my neighbor. I don't know why the parents didn't spring for some kind of composite.
Yeah, it would have been better. Hindsight's 2020.
What was I saying before this? I have no idea. I'm very tired. I think I want a beer.
Well, here's what I would say. If anybody is out there right now and they're like, oh, I don't like Steven Crowder, I don't like your brand of comedy, I don't like the things that you say, whatever you.
What does
may
my family
feel-
have to do with this?
No. I know. I don't. Whatever you may say, if you can't, I'm being dead serious. If you cannot read AOC's Green New Deal and that be okay, there's no
place.
standard.
There's no place for
standard
anybody.
at all. That absolutely shows you it's about the ideas that people hold and not what they say.
If you've ever live streamed a video, that was what I was about to say. A live streamed a video game event. I keep getting it wrong. I'm that out of touch. You young whippersnappers.
A gaming
and
session.
you've said something offensive, they're going to find it. And by the way, thank you. I think we have some tweets. Was it? I think was it Keemstar?
Keemstar,
And
yeah.
I know Philip DeFranco kind of mentioned it.
Yeah.
Chris Reagan.
Chris Reagan.
He was out
And
there.
people, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not a big fan of mine. A lot of
Nope.
people who don't even like me have been talking about this. And this isn't
Yeah.
about me and Vox. This is really about one of the biggest, I guess, multi-hyphenated corporations in new media, $1 billion company wanting to make sure that a guy who has a fraction of the budget,
Right.
cannot effectively rebut their voice. It's not this Carlos Maza guy. This stuff was pushed out by Vox in Washington.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's so funny. First off, if you look at the timelines from some of these articles, if I'm not mistaken, had the guidelines before YouTube released them. Or at the very least, it was within 30 minutes.
It's like ready to
They had
go.
exclusive. The Washington Post reached out to me. This is so
That's
funny.
interesting.
They reached out to me later in the evening. And they had been working all for this article that went out that, of course, called me a racist, homophobe, all of these things. You know, all that good stuff that means, you're doing comedy.
Yeah.
And
make sure the Hodge twins know you're racist. They probably won't want to come back on the show ever again.
Yeah. Someone tweeted out that we did blackface. I'm like, it's the Hodge. They're black.
They are black.
Someone said we did yellow face. I'm like, that's not a thing. That's not a face.
Yeah.
And then someone got mad saying you did blackface for Sean King. I had to powder my face to make it whiter.
He's so white.
We actually used the film powder as the blueprint. We have the old VHS cover. I was just standing in a lightning storm. Does anyone ever remember that film? It was a terrible film.
Yeah.
Powder.
Movie.
Was it Billy Zane who was Powder? Who was Powder?
I can't remember.
It sounds like it could have been Billy Zane. No, he was the Phantom.
It's not something I committed to memory.
I was talking about something before we talked about Powder. Oh. I don't know what it was.
Sean King.
Sean King. No, it wasn't before Sean King.
And racist.
Racist.
They're saying that
They
you were
call
racist
you all of
in the
these-
article Washington Post.
Yes.
Yeah.
They reached out to me, Washington Post. This is how you know the media works. First off, they didn't reach out to me. They sent an email through the merch shop, loudwithcrowdershop.com.
What?
Again, that's where the fake shirt is available. There's a by the way, hey, Washington Post, there's a contact page right there.
That's
It's
crack
at the top
research.
of the
Can't even
website.
find a number.
It doesn't go straight to me, so people hold your... But it goes right to our press inquiries. I think actually one of the categories, if I'm not mistaken, is press inquiries. They didn't do that. And they said, yeah, I've been working on this all day. By the way, you have an hour to comment. And it was sent through a generic merch page.
Wow.
Website.
Journalism, guys.
So,
Journalism.
are you a dishonest journalist, or are you just lazy and sucky?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you be bothered to put in the effort that we do in trying to book a guest? When we want to book Andrew Yang, we call every single number we have access to, publicist, agent. We get on Twitter. We try and find how we can reach a new guest. We hit all fronts. You guys didn't want to reach me because you already had the narrative set. And this is important for everybody else to understand. The narrative is already set from Vox, from Vice, from Washington Post, from the New York Times. They don't care. This is a public execution, not of me, because we're still around. And like we said, we'll be okay. The more people who join up at Mug Club, we have that promo code, free speech. Everyone gets a student discount right now. We're going to be okay. It's not fun, but it is something that we can handle. A lot of other creators can't necessarily handle this. And that's also what's really scary is this is kind of what happened with old media, where old media just became so powerful that you had to go through the gatekeepers. And I remember Joe Rogan talking about this, and early, like Adam Carolla, they were talking about how with new media, the great thing is anyone can start a podcast. Anyone can get through, right? And there wasn't any FCC. Well, now the FCC is Vox, it's Vice, it's YouTube, it's Facebook, it's Twitter. And they want to determine what's okay and what is not okay to say. You need to decide right now where you, even if you don't think the show is funny. Again, I don't know what my family necessarily has to do with this. If you don't like the show, if you don't like the opinions, that's not what this is about. This is about understanding the rule book and arbitrary guidelines that mean they can remove anybody. And it's already happening. They are coming for you. You think it won't happen? It is going to happen. It is happening. And it's so dangerous for the smaller guys. We've built something up. And this is something else too. People go, you're bullying. How do we bully $1 billion company?
How
We're
does that
funded
work?
by mugs. And this is also something else. All the stupid infighting and, I don't like Ben Shapiro. I don't like Glenn Beck. Okay, do you have any idea the gauge of the gun barrel you're staring down right now? Do you have any clue? It's time to put that stuff aside. And not only conservatives, but everybody who wants to be able to create content online. We do not have $1 billion. We're funded by mugs, and we have licensing agreements with other companies. And thank God that we're no longer dependent on YouTube for revenue. But the next guy isn't going to be able to do it because Vox, just like Amy Schumer, just like, what's her name? Sarah Silverman. They got in with shock humor, right? Shock jock humor. And then they say, we're going to close the door behind us. We're going to make sure that when you say gay, do you know what you say? Says Sarah Silverman, and she closes the door behind. It's like you made Holocaust jokes and jokes about Ethiopian famine victims being pregnant teens. I thought it was funny back then, but today you would protest somebody for doing that. Vox and Vice is a perfect example. Tim Pool was talking about this. They used to be the punk rock rebels, and now they want to close the door on everybody else who will be coming up through the ranks the way they did. This is the big irony. These people who talk about this lack of mobility of power. This is why they support socialist regimes that execute or force gays into labor camps, because they say we need to break up the oligarchy, the systems of power. Well, what do you think is happening with Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all of these other companies that simply buy them up? Do you have any idea how many entities Vox owns? Do you have any idea how much was invested into Vice by Disney, by the way? Disney! You might say, punk rock rebellion. They're talking about magic mushrooms in Colorado. Wait a second. Is that a secret Little Mermaid phallic symbol in the back? They've gone from secret sex,
Disney?
Subliminal imagery in Disney to secret Disney subliminal imagery in porn videos.
It's like a chicken and the egg situation.
I just want everyone to understand that it's really not about us, but I know there are a lot of smaller creators out there who are concerned. What does this mean for you? It means that unless everybody stands up and fights back right now, and unless we all have a meeting and get together and understand what it is that we're facing and how we can work together, and we don't have to agree on everything. We don't even have to agree on most things. The next generation coming up, they're not going to have a chance.
No.
They're not going to have a chance. It's never going to happen for them. Just like it'll never happen for the next Sam Kinison, the next Bill Hicks. It'll never happen for the next stand-up comic who's breaking ground. It'll never happen now on YouTube. It'll never happen on social media unless people start fighting back. Don't wait until it's something that you agree with or someone who you feel is a stamp of approval on your worldview, because that's not what it's about.
Yeah. Well, and you want to be able to have all the guests that you want, too. You want to be able to have people on here that you disagree with. I mean, you've done that multiple times, bringing people on. And by the way, to call you a racist and a homophobe, they're basically just trying to put you in a category so that everything that they say about you after that, people will just believe, oh, he's a racist and a homophobe.
Oh, of course,
so, of course, all this has to be true. None of that's true. Do you have gay people on the show every once in a while?
Well, it doesn't mean that I wouldn't. You have people who could have gay people on and not be homophobic, but I don't think
I think those gay people that would
we have
probably
Dave Rubin on the show
call
tomorrow.
Your friends would probably call you out for being homophobic if you were homophobic.
Yeah.
Right, you would think so.
I don't know that they have.
Yeah, people always say, "Oh, look, you're saying because I have a gay friend." It's a perfectly legitimate argument. If I hated Asians, Bill wouldn't be allowed with.
Or they would
5
at
feet
least
of me.
talk about it. They'd say, "Hey,
But I'm
Steven,
actually
why don't
10
you,
feet from
why don't you
you,
be a
which is
little,
true.
why don't you be a little less homophobic, or why don't you be a little less racist?"
By the way,
I'm not
don't you
saying
try and
that's like a hood
cure
pass or
people of
anything.
phobias? Right? Isn't that something you like? Well, what is it? If I'm actually homophobic, how do I get over it? Do I have to touch the Vox guy? Is that like is it like
cure?
with a
I'm
spider?
fairly certain he does not want you to do that. I'm fairly certain I don't want you to do that.
You know what I'm certain of?
Make it a Queer Eye box set.
Yes.
I don't know, but the point is like it's a phobia.
What I want is for him to keep producing videos. I really, really do, because they are so easy to tear apart.
Yes,
and
the
point out the
ideas.
horrible the ideas. Of course, not him. It's the ideas that we're going after. Right. He's putting these other things like front and center, and sometimes we see it and we're like, really, the guy eating the banana behind you? Okay, that's why some of those things come
And
up.
by the way,
is
it's
because
not
they put
going
them in there.
to stop. It's not going to stop. We don't want anyone to harass anybody.
No.
But as far as debunking ideas, we'll make sure we follow the guidelines once we know what they are. Bill, that's why he's here. But when
moving
Vox,
target.
many more rebuttals coming your way. Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of people think, hey, alternate platforms. This is YouTube. We'll just go to somewhere else. This is going to follow.
Yes.
It's not going to
Good
stop
point.
here. If it happens here, it's going to happen at BitChute. It's going to happen at Minds. It's going to happen at Gab. They're going to shut those places down.
Right.
We have to fight it here.
Yes, you have to fight it. You don't back up until you find yourself in a corner. And that's why we've done Mug Club. Again, we have that promo code free speech, is because it allows us to stay on YouTube on the free platform. If we didn't have Mug Club, we'd be gone right now.
Yeah.
The channel would be gone. Everyone here
Done.
would probably get a couple months work leave. We try and take care so people aren't left out in the cold, but we'd be done. We'd be completely done. Imagine that. Imagine your business model. Anyone out there a business? Anyone out there own a business, or anyone out there an employee of a small business? Imagine you walk in the next day and somebody has just absolutely torched the joint, Molotov cocktailed it, and you have no idea who. You have no idea why. It's gone. And someone will say, well, stop whining about it. And you find out it was just some guy who didn't like that you told a joke at an open mic night.
Right.
That's what would happen here if not for Mug Club. The paid content that we create. Again, so much more content behind the paywall. Maybe we'll just put all the social images for Figs videos. Any video that has a shirt, we'll just put it behind the paywall.
Yeah.
We'll put it there for Mug Club members exclusively. And that's probably a handful.
Yeah.
I have no idea. The issue here is that's what allows us to fight here on YouTube. The biggest delivery mechanism that exists. We're the biggest conservative channel on YouTube. We're very grateful for that. And we have more people on the show. The Hodge twins, for example. People, they now are the conservative twins. I was like, I don't know why you did that. You're going to get a lot of flack. Like, we figure we're in it now.
Yeah.
Watch out.
We've already been exposed. And what are we supposed to do every April and May in preparation for Pride Month? Are we supposed to kind of shut up about some of these issues and make sure that we don't, like, is this the purge every
as we
June
know
for
it,
Pride?
Cultural Appropriation Month. Tomorrow is Canada.
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. We make fun of everybody equally too, by the way. More so ourselves, and you probably made more fun of yourself by dressing up the way you have
Or
than
fun of you.
anybody could
Oh,
ever
that's another
possibly
thing.
do to you.
This is one thing you were talking about too with
Yeah.
YouTube, because they were saying, well, attacking anyone based on sexual orientation is wrong, and you brought up the point, right, about Carlos Maza.
Well, I mean, there was the time when he was trying to insinuate that you were a homosexual, and by wanting to know if your wife knows, how often you were thinking about him or looking at him. And there's only really two explanations. Either Maza thinks it's okay to use homosexuality as an insult, or he actually believes that you're homosexual, and now he's outing you, which is considered one of the most immoral things you can do with regards to someone's sexuality in a community. And so it's one of those things where when you actually dig into to, beyond the hysterics and the emotion and the complaints and the crying, you get to the meat of what this is, and the meat of it is, I don't have a substantive response, so I need you to be quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need you to go somewhere else, and I need you to be done. It's not, again, like you said, the 2% of the videos is making some jokes, making some sophomoric humor, using some terms that this guy uses himself, right?
Yeah, to describe himself.
But the
Well,
rest
he would
of
say
the
you can't
98
say because I'm clearly gay. Whereas with you, Stephen, I'm just committing. Was libel written or slander? Slander is spoken.
Slander's oral, libel's written. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get away from oral. We don't
Let's
want to. We
not
don't want to be
use-
demonetized
let's
again.
not use that
YouTube.
word.
It's PG, right? So yeah, slander, libel. It's just slanderous. Libel is to imply that I'm gay when I'm not.
Right.
You know that I'm lying to my wife. By the way, not really an insult. I thought like, well, okay, it means I hit the gym. People think I'm gay, but they're so quick to weaponize it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the inconsistency, and of course, advocating actual physical violence. So
Yeah.
you want to make, and then I wanted to go to Bill and ask for his expertise.
So this one final thing, and I forgot. I brought this up to you off the air the other day when all this stuff was going down about the video.
Hold on. Hashtag VoxAdpocalypse. Keep it going right now
Yeah.
because
make sure, and figs.
you
We
know-
love figs
you
too.
know- you
so-
know people
Fig
at
news,
Vox
but-
are
love
seeing
figs.
that right now going,
I think we should personally thank Carlos for
Yes,
all of this. This is
we should.
Great
Thank
job,
you very
dude.
much, Carlos.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah,
it. And maybe we can bring up some
absolutely.
tweets. Let us know if you've used the free speech promo code,
Yes.
courtesy of
Yeah.
Carlos Maza,
Yes.
to get your Mug Club discount.
Yeah, all it took. And the video that we were debunking last week, I think for Thursday's show, whatever it was, they took some of those outtakes and posted them online. And he was making, like, one of his producers even said something. You can go and look at the video. He's like, this might actually sound offensive to you, but you actually sound gayer than normal.
Yeah,
like
and they were
some of
laughing
the
about
things
it. So
that
it's like-
they were laughing and joking about, like
Relax.
all these things that I'm like, I'm watching this and my head is exploding because I'm like, we didn't go nearly that far. What is this, like, they can say it because they're gay?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
That's
here's
it.
the thing. Like, he put gay, wonk, gay, look right there. He's making that
And
the
Marxist
defining-
pig.
Well, and Marxist pig and queer, like all these things. And I get it. Like, if we were like saying, call like very, very mean, like spirited, like calling him names and things like that. That's not what we were doing.
He called
at all.
Tucker Carlson a white supremacist
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
his bio.
And says,
In
by
his
the way,
bio.
commit battery against white supremacists.
Yeah.
Well, who's a white supremacist? Tucker Carlson, pretty much anyone who's Stephen
Anybody
Crowder.
who disagrees with me on my viewpoints.
He's one of those notorious pro-Israel white supremacists.
If he had, here's the thing: if he had any real talent in what he was doing, he would have taken the fact that you debunked his video and he would have piggybacked on it and debunked what you had said. Because he would have seen that you had a large audience, they would have seen that, and he would have gone.
That's a good
He
point. I
didn't
would have
do
never
that.
even considered it as an option. But hopefully you are now, Vox, because I would love to see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Addressing
YouTube-
the merits of your
Yes,
argument.
exactly.
Well, not only that, but I also YouTube
doesn't happen.
put it
Come
in
on.
suggested feed because I know autoplay after that hopefully will be ours. All we want is equal time.
Yes.
That's it. And here's the thing. If YouTube said this, they said, listen, you can't say gay. You can't. We're going to retroactively ban all the words, even though we manually reviewed it and we told you that it was fine. And Bill, and a half-Asian lawyer, Bill, was there, and they said, no, we're good. And we asked them so many times whether this was a violation of policies, and they've been very, very clear. But if they said, listen, we've changed our mind, we are a publisher, we are not a platform, and you cannot say anything that offends anybody, and we don't want conservatives here. You know what? I'd walk off into the sunset. I don't want to be, but that's not what they say.
Yeah.
They court our business. They say we want,
Yeah.
almost 1 billion plays. I don't know how many tens of millions YouTube has made off of our channel, and they've said, please come broadcast with us, come advertise with us. When we started back in 2006, I believe, my brother was one of the first partners ever. We did a video, Best Impressions Ever, which went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Pretty bad.
Troll before trolling was a thing.
Yeah.
And
Pioneers.
people can probably search right now, Best Impressions Ever. What it was, there was this rash on YouTube. Okay, this was in 2006. There was this rash on YouTube of all these horrible impression videos.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing 55 impressions in 1 minute. And they weren't really impressions.
Yeah.
So what I did was I did all of these horrible impressions, but I had my brother as my Ed McMahon, who was just laughing at everything. He's like, that's exactly Bill Cosby always talks about pudding. This was before the rape.
Yeah.
Pre-rape.
Before we knew
didn't
about
know
it.
that.
And then I did a Harrison Ford impression. I actually did a good impression, and my brother was like, that one maybe needs a little bit of work. And then I go back and doing crapping. But what happened, this was early on, right? And this was back when trending was actually based on real algorithms. Everyone started warring in the comments section.
Yeah.
And it was because some people didn't get the joke. And they're like, these impressions suck. And then some people did get the joke, like, yeah, that's the point. These impressions suck. This is satire from all that. And then some people did get the joke but were mad. They're like, I get that this is a joke, but it sucks. I'm mad that I waste my time. And then some people thought the impressions were actually good. Like, you guys are crazy. That's the best Kermit the Frog I've ever heard. This is the best stuff ever. And so it just got a bunch of comments, and it got to the top back then. I don't even think it was called trending, but like most discussed. They had most discussed, most viewed, top rated.
Back when it was actually a trending page.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my brother was made a partner. So back then, their argument, keep in mind, was they were saying, like, listen, at this point, there were a bunch of other websites. We know you have other options. We know you have other options. Thank you for flying Qantas. They said, we know you have other options. Upload with us, and we'll give you a piece of the revenue.
Yeah.
Please stay with us. Please help us build YouTube.
Yeah.
We said, okay, well, I guess you're the only place that's going to pay, right? Well, guess what that did? That squashed out all the competition who couldn't afford it at that time. Yeah. And then it only got more significant. Then they had way more partners when they became a subsidiary of Google. They had yet to make money. I don't know if they have made money yet. By the way, a lot of people are canceling their premium YouTube subscription. I don't necessarily know that that's a bad idea right now, considering that until they clarify what their guidelines are. But that's the issue, is building a business because they court your business. And let's be honest here, all of you who stream video gaming, all of you younger people who are out there doing makeup tutorials, you picked YouTube because they made it clear that you could make a living there. Yeah. And now they want to pull that rug out from under you. Yeah. They want to make tens of millions of dollars, for some of you, hundreds of millions of dollars off of you, off of the backs of your content, and then remove you without telling you why, without a justification. If they say we don't want conservatives, if they say it's the socialism is for Fig's shirt and we refuse to fix it, ban me tomorrow. But that's not the conversation.
Right.
Half Asian Bill Richmond, are there any other updates? What do we need to, what are we doing?
Well, we are still waiting for actual details and/or instructions and/or non-ambiguous policies from YouTube.
Anything at all.
But yeah, I mean, just in terms of the responsiveness, right? I mean, there's certainly a question regarding free speech and the ability to say socialism is for figs, or to use a shirt, or to make the joke, or make the social commentary. But
did you ever think you'd be stringing those words together in a phrase when you were in law school?
I didn't think I'd be doing that like a week ago. Yeah, so. No.
We need to find out if it's within your legal rights to say socialism's for figs.
Yeah, I'm going to hear
figs is trending on Twitter.
Figs. I like Fig Newtons. I'm sad about
I'm sorry for interrupting you. This whole thing is
I bet
so
you're selling
silly.
out of those shirts, by the way.
I don't know.
I don't even remember the last time I saw
Don't
one
plug it.
until
Don't
this.
plug it.
I'm not.
It is not on louderwithcrowdershop.com.
Nope.
It is not.
It is not.
Okay, so you were saying something, but I'm sorry.
So, so the point is figuring out what exactly are the rules going to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of the things that was directly asked today in the conversation was, you understand that you're now using videos that were approved and that you've made money off of for years and years and years as the basis for a suspension. Okay, tell us what the violation is.
Right.
And we still don't actually have a list. Even the email we got today only says a couple of examples of what the videos are, but it doesn't actually say what in the videos.
It makes me think they didn't do a review.
Yeah.
Honestly, it makes me. Here's the thing: if you were to say, "Listen, all right, here's you clearly doing blackface. Here's you screaming the N-word at the top of your lungs. Here are the really egregious violations that we can clearly say are violation of our guidelines."
videos,
right?
yeah.
They said upon a further investigation. This is what they said, I think, on Twitter. They said they reviewed it further. Well, hold on a second. Wouldn't you want this to be as clear as possible?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want them to know whether, like, listen, you cannot be allowed. For example, we have people who are no longer allowed as guests on the show. It's like, why? Because you committed an act of violence against somebody else. Because you tried to dox them. Yeah. You are not welcome. We make it as clear as possible because we want that delineation.
Yeah.
Wouldn't YouTube want that delineation if we were the monsters they accuse us of being? They've given us no information. Out of over 1,000 videos, 2. 2. Just let us know the info. You don't think they can do that to you? That's what people need to understand here. And we appreciate so much the support we've gotten. And this is one thing, too. I appreciate the conservatives who don't necessarily agree with everything I say. But I said, listen, I'm not going to cop out and say he shouldn't mock. Well, why did the chicken cross the road?
No idea.
I'm mocking you to get to the other side, dummy. Every joke, every source of comedy comes from some kind of pain, misfortune of others, or mockery. Yeah. All of it. From Groucho Marx, Jack Benny, through Carol Burnett, today to Stephen Colbert, cockholster, to Samantha Bee, feckless cunt, still trending. The point is,
monetized.
You just need to come out and say that you don't want comedy. And I appreciate that. Not only there have been a lot of conservatives that virtue signaling, like, well, I'm the reasonable conservative. People like Ben Shapiro haven't done that. People like Mark Levin, people like Glenn Beck, people like Michael Knowles, people like Andrew Klavan, but a lot of independent content creators who are not even conservative has said, I don't care. I don't care what it is that he said. I do appreciate your consistency. And here's the thing. We don't expect you to jump into bed with us and start demonetizing your own videos. All we're saying is that everyone needs to get to a table here and have a meeting and talk, because if they can go through over 1,000 videos, they claim they've been doing this for days. They claim they've been investigating for days, and just say these 2 videos, which aren't even offensive. One of them has a transgender person in there, Blair White, and the other is about a victim of sexual assault who talks about sexual assault in the UK. Those are the only 2 references they gave us without time codes. What do you think they can do to your channel? They can get rid of you at the drop of a hat. And they will, the second they feel that they have to, because someone has whined loudly enough. And that's really the concern here. Bill, I guess, what are we're waiting on? We're at a point where we don't know what the rules are.
So we're going to continue to make the kind of reasonable requests you would make to say, through the various channels that we have, both at YouTube directly, Google as the parent company, others who may be in this space who be able to get to someone. I think we can all kind of see that YouTube's got a little left-hand, right-hand problem going today with the various tweets. The number of tweets even from Carlos Mazza's fans that are critiquing YouTube's own actions is fairly hilarious. But here's one thing I would say is a very big concern for those who still aren't convinced that this could happen to them, right? The rules have always included, if you have one video that has issues, we will demonetize you. And if you have a big, huge pattern of them, then maybe we'll do something about that.
We'll demonetize the video.
We'll demonetize the one video.
Right.
And so, but today's conversation with YouTube was even just one example we will use to ban you from monetization on the platform. Right. And you have an example. I think the Colbert cockholster example is actually a really good one, because you know who wrote an article calling out Colbert as being homophobic because of that comment?
Oh, please tell me.
It was Vox.
Really?
Oh, look at that.
Wow. They did. And so when you go look and you see this kind of mass demonetization related to Colbert, do you see a mass demonetization related to Samantha Bee? No,
it shows up in my feed next to transgender makeup tutorials.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
It's amazing. Magic.
I don't know.
So what is it they've said too? They reserve the right to change it at any point. Change their guidelines at any point, or change their mind on whether it's a violation of guidelines at any point.
Right.
That's what they've said. They reserve the right to change their minds. So in other words, it could be guidelines. We say it's fine. And then we change what we think is a violation of guidelines. To be clear, this has not been a violation of guidelines. I want people to understand this. So don't go out there. We haven't been banned from YouTube. Just an ability to make revenue off YouTube. But thank God for Mugs. Thank God that we're funded by Mugs. We're not exactly funded by Al Jazeera or Qatar.
Not the Young Turks.
This is the challenge. As they're saying, this is a moving target. We don't care whether they disagree with the opinion. We just want to know what the rules are. Yeah. And we know what the leftist rules are right now. What the playbook is they want to get rid of anyone who disagrees with them. They've made it clear. Vox will not rest until everyone is gone. And was that Half Asian Bill Richmond? Are you calling him over there, Johnny boy? Okay, there's an update. Oh, we have an update now from YouTube. Okay, what's happening? Hold on, I'm narrating right now. Johnny Boy is talking with his hat and his creepy pedophile mustache. Talking with Half Asian Larry Bill Richmond. Quarter Black Garrett, what are you seeing going on there? You have it from a different point of view.
I'm seeing the back of Bill's head right now.
Okay.
I can see the back
hat.
Of his head. It looks like they're talking about something.
His head is fuzzy. That's the Asian haircut. Doesn't matter what they do. They just get the shears and it pops straight out.
All right.
It looks. What were we saying? What? Oh, we got a sign up. Thank you. Can't wait for having a meltdown. Companies can't wait for these companies to get what's coming to them. Vox suck. Carlos Mazza, they can suck each other. Just joined Mug Club. Thank you very much, Miss. I can't really see from here, but oh man, I'm sweaty. Look at me. Do we have the update there? Half Asian Bill Richmond?
No major update. Let me get back over here.
Okay, he's walking over to his chair right now. He's sitting. He's putting on his headset.
Shopify has taken some action against the shirt in our store.
What's Shopify? What do we use them to?
It's a back-end provider of the actual kind of store type things. But obviously more complaints are being had. More. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like your art. I don't like your jokes. So
well, this is the thing: is they want to go after the advert, and that's where Carlos Mazza really screwed up and Vox screwed up. They really have they've awakened a sleeping giant, because people on YouTube are going, hold on a second, you're going to screw this up for the rest of us if you are saying we want to get rid of advertisers. And now they're saying getting rid of advertisers isn't enough. So By the way, we can find any other. There are myriad companies who've said we'd like to host your shopping. So hey, if you want to get some revenue, by the way, this is something else out there as well. We have Walther, they're a fantastic sponsor. We have a couple of sponsors waiting in the wings. We've sort of been too busy dealing with this kind of stuff to bring them in. But if you're a conservative company out there and you want to reach people, we know that for every person who finds this offensive, there's probably someone who would pay twice as much for the advertising real estate because we have a long retention rate. And you know what our audience is? They support our sponsors. Yeah. We've never had a sponsor to this show not be ecstatic. And we've always kind of had handshake agreements for a long time. I remember you came in as a lawyer, you're like, wait, what? You've been exchanging
more content than they need.
What money?
I was like, you're not spitting on the hands before you shake them?
What is this?
Oh, it's not even a real agreement.
Get a rusty tin can. Do Blood Brothers like in My Girl. That was it. Oh. How are you so fast to My Girl?
You got real fast.
Great movie.
He needs his glasses.
It's my number 6 movie after Constantine.
Okay, so there we go. Shopify.
Right.
I don't care. Yeah, and this is the thing, they're not going to be able to. This is one thing too. When people are like, we're going to go to Patreon, they're going to remove you. If we were on Patreon, we'd be gone right now. GoFundMe, we'd be gone. They can't take away Mug Club. It's not something that anyone can pull away. That's the beauty of it. We're funded by mugs. We're funded by viewers like you. You know, PBS says that, and they sort of omit all the federal grant dollars. We don't get any. I don't think there's. We're going to have some updates tomorrow. We're going to have Dave Rubin on the show. And again, if I reiterate one point, first off, thank you so much for the support. We really are going to be okay here, and everyone here has been great today. We didn't plan on doing any kind of a live stream.
Nope.
But we just had so much info coming in, and I was like, I don't know how we compile this into some kind of a show tonight. And we'll have some more tomorrow. And hopefully within the next couple of days, what actions we're going to be taking, because we need to figure out where we are. We need to figure out exactly what our next steps are. And we don't know. You can't do that until you have the rule book in front of you. What I do want to leave you with, though, is if they can do it to, now it includes late night hosts, and they've made sure they've, by the way, identified us. YouTube has said, it's socialism's for figs. They've said, late night hosts, right? They've made really clear. Now, Vox has tried to make it seem as though we're purely political commentary. They've omitted that we're comedy. That's something that's also important to know. Yep. Our videos have always gone up in the section of comedy. Our channel is categorized as comedy. Vox tried to omit it. YouTube has acknowledged this is a late night show. YouTube has acknowledged it's socialism is for figs, but to them, that's enough. And so if an offensive joke from a late night comedian, which does not even come close to cockholster or feckless cunt, can warrant them being completely booted from a partner sharing program of which they've been a member for nearly a decade, socialism's for figs, and a late night host telling an offensive joke, what do you think they can do to you? What do you think they are going to do to you? And then when you try to ask them, why'd you do that? Why'd you pull the rug out from under me? And they don't have to answer. And we've set a precedent there, Bill Richmond, where no one's pressed them to answer. You've heard the internet referred to as the Wild West. You've probably also heard it referred to as the bathroom stall of society. This would really be the Wild West outhouse of society at that point. And you would be below the, what is it, latrine? What do they call it when they used to drop it? Is that what it is? I don't think so. You're just saying that.
No, they pee in it. They pee into the latrine.
Is it called latrine?
Yes.
The point is you're going to be covered in shit. All right?
He backed me up.
So we're going to have some more updates tomorrow. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get some answers from YouTube. Right now it's 2 videos with no time codes, no guidelines. LouderWithCrowder.com/mugclub. Enter the promo code free speech. You will get the student discount, even if you're not a student, because right now we are all students. We are all students of life. And I just encourage you to take this journey with me and light up a big old mouth cannon, and let's just walk away flipping the bird if this is how we go out. If we're going to go out, we're all going to go out together, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think long term we're going to win this, and Mazza is still losing his mind, so let me tell you, it's a good day above ground. We'll see you tomorrow live, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dave Rubin.